Week 2 of the au pair affair double murder trial has wrapped up for the day, and at least for now, prosecutors have wrapped their case against Brendan Banfield. They claim he was the mastermind of an elaborate plot to kill his wife. His attorneys will begin presenting his version of the events tomorrow morning. News 4's Erika Gonzalez has been closely following the trial and brings us the very latest from today. Erika, so we know one witness ended up on the stand for most of the day and maybe a bit longer than expected?
Right. Day 4 of testimony coming off a long holiday weekend. And you might think that the prosecution would come back with something explosive, right, to wake the jury up, get things started. Instead, a forensic expert in bloodstain patterns takes the stand. And while her testimony is pertinent, they're trying to get to whether or not the crime scene was manipulated, I think a lot of people would argue that this was dull. There were numerous objections by the defense today, so they'd allow some questioning on bloodstains, but any attempts at them connecting the dots, I mean, that was struck down again and again. Now, the prosecution makes some points, but there's no real punctuation here. You had hours of testimony by this expert, and there is no real aha moment. The defense cross-examines pretty quickly, and now there is something notable, okay? Brendan Banfield's attorney asks the expert if the blood on his client's hands, seen on body cam video around his wife's neck, quote, would be consistent with someone rendering aid, right? And the expert responds, that would be consistent with someone having blood on their hands, and she ends it there. Lastly here, in what many thought would be an incredibly emotional testimony, okay, the prosecution calls its final witness. It is Christine Banfield's father. He is called to the stand, and he testifies to something mentioned in the Commonwealth's opening statements, that Christine Banfield had a blood disorder, and he elaborates on that, when it sort of started, and medication that she was taking for it. And that's it. The prosecution rested its case without asking a grieving father about his daughter, the mother of his granddaughter's gruesome murder. I mean, it was shocking. And if you're scratching your head like I am, you're going to need to hear from our legal analyst, NBC News legal analyst Kristen Gibbons-Fedden, coming up on News 4 at 5 and 6, because it was a peculiar day sort of all around. But that was by far the most peculiar event that we saw today inside that courthouse.
Yeah, I'd be really interested in what she has to say about that part. All right, our Erika Gonzalez with the latest from inside the courtroom on today's trial. Erika, thank you.